Thank you so much for taking the time to join me today and learn about your role as a location coordinator. My name is Tara, and I am your regional liaison and main point of contact for Wreaths Across America. Anytime you have questions, you should contact me directly for help. You can reach me over the phone, through text message, or by email. You can find my contact information at the bottom of every email I send you. I'm always happy to help and look forward to helping you make your wreath laying ceremony a success this year. Whoops, too fast. Each year, Wreaths Across America announces a theme to inspire all of us to remember, honor, and teach. This year's theme is Find a Way to Serve. We hope you all find ways to get involved in your own communities, to serve in small ways that can make a big impact. Stay tuned for details about a new educational curriculum that will be launching soon. The Volunteer Handbook is an excellent resource for you and will give you the tools needed to plan ahead and prepare for a smooth Wreath Day. It can be found on our volunteer resource page by going to the main Wreaths Across America website, clicking on the menu, then going down to the location group resources and download location materials. In the next few slides, we'll touch on some of the highlights from the handbook, but I encourage you to take the time to look through them, and if you have any questions, reach back out. Wreath Day Planning Checklist. You should schedule a meeting with your cemetery staff to get their approval. We usually already have this approval, but you still want to stay in touch with the cemetery staff to make sure that we are following any guidelines that they have in place. Remember, they are the host and we are the guests, so it's important we accommodate their requests. If any concerns come up, let me know and I can help you brainstorm how to address these. Make sure parking is easy to find, close to the location, and free, or at least validated. Larger locations might consider busing people in and could contact the local school systems to see if they would provide buses. We provide the ceremonial wreaths and flags, plus all sponsored wreaths. We ship the ceremonial flags in November, so if you've not received them by December 1st, let me know and I'll have them reshipped to you. The ceremonial wreaths and sponsored wreaths will arrive anytime in the 2 weeks leading up to Wreath Day. The wreaths are identical, so simply select any 8 wreaths to attach the ceremonial flags to, and those will become your ceremonial wreaths. Wreaths Across America does not provide stands for your ceremonial wreaths, but many location coordinators are able to get them donated or borrowed from a local hardware store, floral shop, or the cemetery. Others ask someone in their community to build stands for them. I want to chime in here too. Check with your local Boy Scout troops. Sometimes them building the stands and donating them to you count as some of their merit badges that they're working towards. Think about where your ceremony will be held and set it up so that everyone can see and hear clearly. Line up speakers, invite supporters to sing, pass out programs, block off parking, distribute wreaths, lay grave-specific wreaths, and help with the cleanup. We update the ceremony script yearly, so be sure to use the updated script on the volunteer resource page. You may adapt it to your location, but our script will serve as a good template for you. You might consider arranging to have a retired or active duty veteran from each branch of the service present their corresponding wreath. If you choose to do a color guard, you could reach out to your local Boy Scouts, Sea Cadets, Civil Air Patrol, or veteran organizations like the VFW or American Legion. If you want a bugler at your ceremony, Bugles Across America is a great resource. When you plan how you will disperse the veteran wreaths for placement on Wreath Day, keep in mind all wreaths should be passed out to anyone who shows up and would like to help lay wreaths. They are not set aside for individual donors or sponsorship groups unless they are sponsored as grave-specific requests. If you don't have enough wreaths to place for every veteran at your location, you could focus on filling one section of the cemetery at a time. Keep track of which sections you place wreaths in, then rotate sections year after year until you reach full coverage. Some location coordinators prefer marking their veterans' graves with a flag ahead of time so that it's easy for volunteers to know exactly where to lay the wreaths. On Wreath Day, it's a good idea to stage the wreaths for distribution so that it's easy for people to line up and quickly receive the wreaths that they will place. You may want to consider inviting those with grave-specific wreaths or with a loved one buried at the cemetery to come forward to get their wreath first. Wreaths Across America is not affiliated with any religion or political view. It is our mission to remember all the fallen. Honor those that serve and their families, and teach the next generation the value of freedom. Because we are a guest at more than 3,100 participating cemeteries that we visit each year, we abide by each cemetery's rules when it comes to the placement of wreaths on veterans' headstones. At those cemeteries without a formal policy, we do not place a wreath on the headstone of those graves marked with the Star of David, out of respect for Jewish custom. We simply pause and pay our respects. The only exception is when families of the deceased request a wreath, and then their wishes are honored. It's a good idea to reach out to your local rabbi now and discuss the best way to honor include the Jewish veterans while respecting their culture. You should also connect with the cemetery staff to create a list of those wishing not to receive a wreath, as well as those in the Jewish community who may want one. It's important that the delivery addresses you provide Wreaths Across America are accessible and able to accept deliveries in the 2 weeks leading up to Wreath Day. If your wreaths ship UPS or FedEx, you will receive tracking numbers for each box so that you know when they will be delivered. You must provide a physical address for these deliveries. If your wreaths are shipped on an 18-wheeler truck, the delivery location must have enough room for the truck to drive in, turn around, and drive out. If you need to make a change to the addresses that you have on file, please contact me right away so our logistics team can plan ahead for your delivery. Important logistics to make note of. It's important to know the difference between your veteran grave count and your sponsorship goal. Your veteran grave count determines the maximum number of wreaths that we would ship to your location. If you need more or less than your veteran grave count, please let me know so that I can set up special arrangements for your location. Your sponsorship goal is linked to the Wreathometer on your location page, which turns green as wreaths are sponsored for your location. You can adjust your goal at any time during the year, and many volunteers find it to be a great tool to keep their community engaged and motivated to sponsor wreaths. Your sponsorship goal does not determine how many wreaths will be shipped to your location. This is determined instead by your veteran grave count. Locations and groups. What's the difference? Locations and groups have different purposes. How do sponsorship groups benefit your location? Think of your location as a funnel. The more sponsorship groups that you have feeding into your funnel, the broader your reach and the more likely you are to fully cover your cemetery. And that's the ultimate goal here, to honor and remember every veteran. Each location can have multiple groups. As you reach out to your community and talk with people about what you're doing and why, that's a great opportunity to invite them to sign up as a sponsorship group. Anyone can get involved. Individuals, families, friends, organizations, and businesses can all become sponsorship groups. If there's a large business that would like to become a corporate sponsor, let me know and I'll connect them with our corporate team. There are benefits to signing up as a sponsorship group. When you sign up as a sponsorship group, you will select a group plan. Each group plan will benefit your location and local community in one way or another. Our 3-for-2 group receives 3 wreaths for every 2 paid wreath sponsorships. This is a great way to maximize the number of veterans at your location that you can honor and remember with a wreath. A $5 payback group receives $5 back for every $15 wreath sponsored. This is a nice fundraising opportunity for your group and allows you to sponsor veterans wreaths while also giving back to your local community. A no-plan group helps to cover the Wreaths Across America overhead. This is a wonderful way to support the behind-the-scenes work at headquarters. The more people you get involved in the mission of Wreaths Across America, the bigger impact you will make within your local community. It's important that you develop strong working relationships with each of your sponsorship group leaders. As you start the event planning process, I would encourage you to delegate tasks and find opportunities to involve your sponsorship groups in the event. Keep in mind you will need help unloading the wreaths off the truck, conducting your ceremony, passing out wreaths to anyone who attends your event and wishes to lay a wreath, cleaning up after the event, and retiring the wreaths on the date determined by your cemetery staff. The more helping hands you have, the lighter your load will be. Community Outreach Checklist. Protecting the information of our donors and volunteers is important. Even though you don't have access to their emails, you can message them through the Wreaths Across America account dashboard. You can find step-by-step instructions for sending messages on our volunteer resource page under the dashboard tutorials. When you message the sponsorship groups that support your location, sponsors, or event participants, be sure to include all of the important details about your wreath-laying ceremony so that all of your supporters know what to expect. This will also help limit any last-minute questions you might get from your community. Communication is the key to a smooth wreath day. Media contact checklist. Your local news and radio media contacts can be a wonderful resource to help you spread the word about Wreath Day at your location. Our volunteer handbook is full of tips and tricks to making the right connections and help you get good community support. On our volunteer resource page, you will also find several press release templates to share with your local media. If you need additional help with this, we have a PR team ready to help you. You can contact them by emailing Sean Sullivan, our PR expert, at ssullivan@wreathsacrossamerica.org. 2 weeks before Wreath Day checklist. In the 2 weeks leading up to Wreath Day, there's so much excitement in the air. At headquarters, we are working around the clock to make sure all of the last-minute orders are added to your wreath count and that all of your deliveries make it to you in time for Wreath Day. We will communicate with you regularly so that you know what to expect, but if you have any questions, you should contact me directly. These are some things to keep an eye on during the 2 weeks before Wreath Day. If your location accepts grave-specific requests, finalize your help for placing those wreaths. Download the grave-specific report from your location account dashboard and provide each volunteer with their list of grave-specific wreaths to place and instructions for doing so. While it's not required to photograph each grave-specific wreath that's placed by a volunteer, it's a wonderful way to share with the donor that their request was honored. Watch for emails from me with important information about the delivery of your wreaths, including the total number of wreaths that you will be receiving and how those wreaths will be delivered, whether it's UPS, FedEx, or 18-wheeler. If you are expecting more wreaths than you see in those emails, contact me right away. If you don't already have your ceremonial flags, now is the time to contact me so that they can be reshipped to you in time for Wreath Day. Again, these flags will go out late November, so if you don't have them by December 1st, please reach out to me so we can get another set sent to you. Wreaths may be delivered anytime in the 2 weeks leading up to Wreath Day. We rely on donated trucking to deliver the wreaths and must work around their schedules. To prevent delays, it is important to be ready to receive your delivery. It's a good idea to prepare a calling tree of volunteers that can be ready to help offload the truck upon arrival. When your delivery arrives, it's very important that you count each box as it is offloaded and only take what is indicated on the bill of lading. You should alert me immediately of any discrepancies and never take more than what's allotted for you, or it may leave other deliveries on your truck short. As soon as you get a final count of your boxes, you must complete the delivery confirmation form so that we know you received your wreaths. That delivery confirmation form is something that I will email to you in the month of December. Reach out to the cemetery staff to share your plans for Wreath Day and ask if there is anything else you should include. This may or not be involved in Wreath Day, but either way, it's important to communicate with them so they know what to expect. Watch your email for incoming questions from the general public and respond in a timely manner. You may consider adding a page alert to your location with specific information about your wreath-laying ceremony to help minimize questions. And if you need any help with those page alerts, just let me know and I'd be happy to help you with those. It's Wreath Day. When Wreath Day arrives, all of your hard work will pay off. Plan to arrive at least an hour before the event so that you have plenty of time to set up and organize volunteers to help with their various duties. Your wreath-laying ceremony should start at the time listed on your Wreaths Across America location page. If you would like to change the time listed, that's okay. Just reach out to me and let me know your plans so that I can update it for you. If we do update that time, it's also important to use the messaging system and message all volunteers who have already volunteered who have already signed up to volunteer so that they're aware of any change in location or time. Have a dedicated person welcome your local media by providing them each with a press kit and showing them to the area where your ceremony will be held. During the course of the day, take the time to soak it all in and remember why you do what you do. The mission of Wreaths Across America is to remember, honor, and teach is growing because of you. Thank you for all of your hard work and inspiring your community to get involved. After Wreath Day. After Wreath Day, take the time to reflect on the good that happened in your community to make your wreath laying ceremony such a success. This is the time to share stories and pictures with Wreaths Across America, issue press release, and commend and thank those who helped. Be sure to communicate with your cemetery about when they would like volunteers to clean up the wreaths. Then reach out to your community to gather help. You may dispose of the wreaths however you feel is best for your community. Many location coordinators find great support from their local recycling or disposal companies, and if arranged early enough in the year, are able to get those services donated. Others remove the bows, then donate the wreaths to local farmers for their goats, llamas, or fish hatcheries to enjoy. Some put the greens through a chipper while others burn them. The options really are endless. Many volunteers make it easiest to remove Many volunteers find it easiest to remove the wreaths by threading them through a broom handle and having someone hold each end of the stick to carry them over to the disposal area. Wearing wreaths will also make it easier as well. Volunteer resource page. We appreciate all that you do as a volunteer and want to make your job easy. So we've created templates for just about anything you might need. You can find all of the Wreaths Across America approved and updated order forms, documents, marketing materials, logos, press releases, and account dashboard tutorials on the volunteer resource page. If you want to customize an image or document, Wreaths Across America must approve it prior to any printing or distribution. You can go ahead and email me the draft and I'll reach out to our communications team for approval. If you create a QR code to put on your marketing materials, be sure that it links to your sponsorship group that supports your location so they receive credit for the orders. If you need any help with this, please let me know. Staying connected. So went too far. Connecting with Wreaths Across America online is a great way to stay informed about events, fundraising ideas, and more. If you haven't already joined the private Facebook group for location coordinators, I encourage you to do so. You will find the direct link to it in your registration confirmation email. Social media tips. Social media can be a great tool for sharing the mission of Wreaths Across America to remember, honor, and teach. We recommend contacting Samantha, our very own social media pro. She'll help you create a Facebook page for your location so that it's easy for your supporters to search for and find. She can be contacted best through email at sgatcombe@wreathsacrossamerica.org. Here are a few do's and don'ts for social media. Do share stories about your local heroes being honored or celebrated, whether it's to thank them for their service or to wish them a happy birthday. Don't share stories that are political or religious, even when it's good news. It creates opportunity for people to share disagreements, which takes away from the mission of Wreaths Across America. Just remember, we're here to remember our fallen veterans, honor those who serve, and teach our children the value of freedom. Your social media posts should be in line with these three things. Some examples of content that you can share on social media are graphics that we've included in newsletters or in the private Facebook group. Pictures of your group or location working hard to share the mission of Wreaths Across America with your local community, or news articles and videos about Wreaths Across America. If you haven't checked it out yet, be sure to visit the Wreaths Across America channel on YouTube to see some of our new videos that you could share to help inspire your supporters. When you invite supporters to sponsor veterans wreaths, you should always share the direct link to a group page that supports your location. This is so that the group can get credit for their efforts and so that the location can receive the wreaths. Listen to Wreaths Radio. Wreaths Radio is a great way to hear informational and inspiring content about members of the U.S. Armed Forces, their families, military veterans, and volunteers throughout the country and overseas who support the mission to remember, honor, and teach. If you haven't tuned in yet, be sure to check it out. You can find them on iHeartRadio. Wreaths Across America support and training. To provide you with help all year round, we have the country split into regions with a regional liaison that oversees that area. I oversee Region 1 and am your main point of contact for Wreaths Across America. Please feel free to reach out to me anytime if you have questions. I'm always available and happy to help. Here is our Wreaths Across America Locations and Groups team. Julie Bright is the Director of Locations and Groups. I am your Region 1 liaison, and Emily Carney is the Region 1 assistant liaison. So you'll be hearing from the both of us quite a bit. Thank you again for taking the time to join me today and working hard to share the mission of Wreaths Across America with your local community. Have a wonderful week.